Hey, this is just I'm resuming the previous video because Mode started misbehaving and it continues to misbehave for some reason. Okay. Maybe their server is down for some reason, but it's very easy to use. Just go to mode.com. In the search bar on the homepage, just put the brands that you want to monitor and you'll be able to see their display ads. Now, AdBeat is not misbehaving like Mode, so we have gotten some data. You can actually sign up for a free account of AdBeat. It does the similar job, but it is restricted in terms of the number of creatives it can showcase. But AdBeat can give you really more interesting insights. Okay. Look at this data. We searched for policybazaar.com and they were able to track about 3,500 odd ads. And in terms of ad channels, there is direct ads, there is native ads, and there are programmatic ads. Direct ads is when Policy Bazaar buys media directly from someone, directly putting up their banners and stuff like that on another people's website. They were able to track that. A lot being spent on native ads. As you know, when we use similarweb.com, we knew that native is actually driving a lot of traffic. We saw Taboola driving traffic, Outbrain driving traffic. So there is a bit you can trust the data as well. 84% programmatic ads, but programmatic doesn't mean something outside. Like I always told you, programmatic is a way of buying media. It's not a different channel. Okay. So for all you know, a lot of this traffic could have been just Google search, just Facebook traffic, or just Google display traffic. Okay. And it gives you some more insights in terms of, okay, they have a lot of image ads, which is not really an insight because image ads is easy to make and video is really tough. And sometimes images work better than videos as well. All right. So they're able to track about 455 odd publishers. But what is the most interesting insight in this thing is this particular. They have 498 longest running ads. These ads are running since a long time. They have 379 landing pages that has been active since the last 1 year, right? Which means it is working for them, right? If only I can tap into this data because it will be restricted. It won't give us its exact data because of the free account. I think the paid account is $250 a month. Especially if you're somebody who's going to be spending a lot on online advertising, you can definitely take that for a month and stop it and then resume it after 6 months just to refresh the data bank that you have. Okay, let us open a few ads from here. Let me see if I can find. Yes, I'm able to see some display ad creatives. These are some creatives that we were able to see in similarweb.com as well. You see that? Which means, these are ads that, they were able to track and running since a long time. It is working for them, though it looks ugly. I've told you, you cannot just look at a creative and tell whether it is working or it will not work. You have to look at the data behind that creative. So, there are very similar ads, which means this messaging, this particular creative with Akshay Kumar is definitely working for them and they're continuing to run it. Something interesting here, it's not really any messaging, but just an image with their logo. It talks about the compounding value of saving money. Okay. That is what, it is meant for people who can make sense by just looking at photograph. It works, whatever works for them. Let me load more and if we see more creatives, no, that's about it. But mode can definitely give you more. Let us give just one quick try for mode. Yeah, because mode is superior when it is coming to showing you the display creatives compared to AdBeat. AdBeat is superior when it comes to showing the data. This breakup is something that your breakup that we looked at between native, direct, and programmatic is something that the mode free version doesn't give. It doesn't give you this kind of a data, that longest running ads, longest running page. You will have to dig deep. It can give that data, but you will have to dig deep. So, like I said, you have to use different tools for different functionalities they offer, especially the free plans of these tools. All right. So let us quickly get back. That is mode and AdBeat. Okay, that is tip number 10. Tip number 11 is a tool that we frequently use to understand the marketing stack or the technology stack of a competitor. Okay, let me show you how this works. Stack.g2.com is more like an aggregator of tools being used by a company, but a more powerful version of that tool is built with.com. Okay, the way we use built with.com is quite easy. We just go to builtwith.com, put in the URL of that company. Okay, just put in the URL of that company, policybazaar.com, and just look up. You should be able to see a lot of details. For example, they're using Hotjar, and what is Hotjar used for? It is for heat maps and visitor recordings. They use Adobe Analytics and tag management. We better be because they spend 300 crores a quarter. They will have a lot of data to manage, so they can easily afford Adobe. Of course, they have Google Analytics, they have Google Optimize, they have Bing, they must be running Bing ads as well, Facebook ads, of course, all the typical conversion pixels that you could find. Looking at this itself, I'll be able to know, okay, they're using Adobe Analytics. If you are somebody who do not know, you might want to explore what Adobe Analytics does. But Facebook ads they're running, Google ads they're running, TikTok pixel is still getting tracked. I don't know why they have not removed it. Maybe they have forgotten to remove it. All right. But otherwise, it can, from a technology perspective, it can tell you what language, what CMS it is built on, what payment gateway that they use. A lot of details, guys. Unimaginable amount of detail. I could see DoubleClick as well. Which is now called DV360, Google Remarketing Tag, Google Floodlight Counter. You know, it is it is very similar to the Pixel. It's just that it is given a different name when you're using DV360, okay, which is a very expensive tool. Only if you are spending, I think, roughly about 40, 50 lakhs on display ads per quarter, you will have access to that tool. Otherwise, you will not. Okay, so you'll get a lot of how this tool is able to capture this data is because this tool has the capability to read the code on any website. So by looking at the code, if it can read a Google Pixel code, it will say, okay, they're using Google Pixel. That's how this tool works. Very useful. But let me give you a useful tip here. Let's say, for an example, if you are somebody who can sell a technology product to Policy Bazaar, for example, let's say if you have an Adobe Analytics competitor, okay, if you are launching a product like that, you can actually download a list of all the websites using Adobe Analytics. Okay, you can download the list of all the websites. Then you can reach out to them. You can put your salespeople on it, or you can run a LinkedIn campaign targeting all these companies that how you are far more superior than Adobe Analytics, but equally cheaper as well, right? Phenomenal data, guys. This is fantastic. If you're really thinking about who is using a competitive product, and if you want to go after those companies, but mostly applicable only from a technology product standpoint, because this tool is capable of tracking only what technology products they're using. Okay, so that is built with my friend. And the next one is competitor mentions on Twitter. I know there is Google Alert. I know if you have money, you will buy competitors dot app. But in case Google Alert is not really superior because it's a free version of the tool. In that case, I want you to use this tool called TweetDeck. Literally anything, look at this. You can track a user, you can track a list, you can track messages, you can track mentions. What I like to use in most of these things, I use two features. I use the search button and I use mentions. Okay. Mentions, if I want to track who's mentioning my competitors. Okay. For example, if Policy Bazaar is the company, and I can actually track the mentions. Who is mentioning Policy Bazaar? Most likely it'll be complaints. Okay, most likely people, especially if people have to complain, they will go to Twitter only because it's very easy to complain on Twitter, and you will get an immediate response as well compared to when you put it up on a consumer complaints forum and nobody may even look, nobody be looking at it. So Twitter is the place if you want to measure what the competitors customers are unhappy with. Okay, let me read through a few comments. Giving false promises. Policy Bazaar sales staff might be doing it. You never know. They're saying I have to pay 25% of the bill amount. Please tell me I have already taken few claims. While Policy Bazaar gives claim settlement guarantee, looks like people are having trouble with. Now, what kind of an insight that it gives? Just by reading two complaints, we can actually run a campaign saying that when we say claims guaranteed, we mean it. Okay, unlike the competition. If I have to run a campaign for this kind of a complaint, false promises, you can say that all our calls are recorded. Our salespeople are trained; they're veterans from the industry, so you can never expect false promises, and we will give you guarantee. Like just on top of your mind. As you read through more complaints, you will be able to arrive at patterns and why your competitors' customers are not satisfied with them. What is the kind of pain points that are emerging? Then you should be able to run a Facebook campaign or an influencer campaign or a YouTube campaign with this kind of a key message saying that how you are better than the competition. Okay, so that's how you can efficiently use TweetDeck. TweetDeck is a free tool. You should be able to monitor anybody, even if you want to monitor Mr. Narendra Modi, you can definitely monitor Mr. Narendra Modi to understand the pattern of complaints. But if you're monitoring someone like him, it'll be running like a ticker. So many people will be mentioning someone like that. So use this judiciously. Okay. The next one, a search simulator, one of my most favorite Chrome extension that I use to understand Google PPC ads that are being run in a different country, especially when we are managing international campaigns for a large technology manufacturing kind of companies. We use this plugin very well. So I'll show you how this works. It's kind of very simple. This is the Chrome extension I was talking about. Just click on the Chrome extension, put whatever keyword you want to track. Let's say if you want to track best CRM software, who is running Google PPC ads in United Kingdom, you can just do that. What the plugin will do, it will show you the exact SERP in the United Kingdom. Because when you are browsing it from India, it will kind of give you India results and stuff like that. When you use this plugin, it will give you that country's search results. I do not know why nobody is running an ad. It might be at the bottom. Yeah. Yeah, there are a few people. Twilio.com is running. Let me try and change the keyword digital transformation or BPO. I can search for next. Yes, there are a few people that are running ads in the United Kingdom. So, for example, if you are sitting in India and if you want to run a campaign targeting United Kingdom people, then it is a must-have Chrome extension. It is free to use, but you'll have to use it carefully because if you do frequent searches, it will ask you to do that check, and it's very irritating, that gatekeeper check that you have to do. All right. So useful, very useful extension, and I will keep using all the time. Okay, that is number 13. Number 14 is super cool tool. It's called MailChart. This one actually is meant for tracking your competitors' email marketing campaigns. Okay. But the tool also has some of the most successful email campaigns sitting in their product. It has a free account. You can sign up for it. Let me see if I have that. So MailChart looks like this. You can sign up for a free account. First of all, it is going to give you a lot of popular brands and what kind of emails they are sending, what kind of flows they have. For example, let me open Nike.com here. It's super cool, right? I will get to know exactly what are the latest emails that they have sent. What is their sending behavior? How many emails are they sending? What are their super popular subject lines? When are they sending emails? See, somebody like Nike, they will be taking data-driven calls. They'll be having people, a large team just for email marketing, and they might be doing their job very well compared to somebody, a performance marketer who's doing everything as a single man army or a single woman army for their company. Okay. It also gives you journeys, but I'm not sure if that is available in the free account. Yes, it does. It gives you a journey, at what point that Nike give you. This is a purchase confirmation email. They have a cart abandonment email. They have a browser abandonment email. They have an onboarding email. You should be able to see all of them, right? Just click on it. Let me see if it is opening. This is one of the onboarding email. No, it is not available in the free account. Okay. Now, what you can do here, you can actually monitor any brand out there. I'm not sure if Policy Bazaar is here. No, Policy Bazaar is not there, but you can actually request them. You can send a request, tell them which URLs you want to track, and they will give you a similar dashboard for that brand as well. They do not track a lot of India brands, but if you want to really get inspired in terms of what email marketing campaigns, what kind of flows, what kind of journeys, this is by far the best platform that I have used. I know there are quite a few others like goodemailcopy.com and many other good email aggregator kind of websites, but nothing like this particular platform. Okay, if you want to reverse engineer your competitors' email marketing strategy, this is one of the best tools that you can use, and the free version itself gives a lot of useful information. Okay, so that is MailChart, and that brings us to the last tip of the competitor analysis. There is no tool here. This is something that you have to do manually. Okay, this is called emotional competitor analysis, where you yourself will do this manually, and I will do it for an example and I'll show it to you. Here is where you understand what is the messaging, what is that one message that the competitor is driving in people's head, what are the type of images they're using, what are the colors they're using, and what are the emotional triggers they're using, right? Let us look at a sample landing page now. Let's look at a nice car example, and I will show you how to do that as well. Okay, so let me quickly open Renault Kaiga. It's a latest compact SUV. Uh, there are ads running. Let me copy this link address and open it in an incognito window. Yeah, this is the pane actually. Looks like I haven't copied the right URL, so we have no choice but to use this URL. Okay. Now, what you need to do, this is a landing page that is being used by Renault Kaiga, right? Now, please don't click on that. Only do it, if you don't have a choice, right? So Renault Kaiga, what are they trying to communicate? Let me open up a notepad and I'll tell you exactly what this landing page is telling me. I mean, this is very, very subjective. This is not an accurate way of doing it, but it's very important for you to know what is that emotion that other person is selling. Okay. The first thing is messaging. What is the messaging that is prominently coming here? Or they're talking about sporty, smart, stunning. They're talking about stunning. They're talking about smart, comfortable interior. They're talking about sporty. So you can see that the sporty, smart, and stunning is frequently getting repeated. That is one pattern I could see. Sporty, smart, stunning. That is their messaging. That is one thing. If they have repeated a few words constantly, which means that is what they want the users to remember about them. The next one is image. What type of image they're using? This is actually a pretty cool image where a couple or a friend is just hanging out at a beach, with their, I don't know what do you call it. It's they're doing adventure. It's a beach sport. Okay, so I can call it a couple performing, couple in a beach doing an adventure. Okay, for spending casual time. You know, so that is what that image is. That image is trying to communicate what the messaging is, right? That is what you should be doing as well. First of all, they're showing the car. They're showing a young couple, which means the product is meant for somebody like them. They're showing that when you have this car, you are somebody who prefers adventure. If you're a lover of adventure, then you should have this car. That is the image. Then what is the next one that we wanted to monitor? Okay, then we wanted to monitor the color and the emotional triggers. Okay, what is the prominent color I see? I see a lot of white. I see a lot of black. Blue is the car color, so I'm not taking that into consideration, but I see a lot of white and black. Okay, so that is the color. And are they using any emotional triggers? Let me see that as well. Emotional trigger is when it appeals to you beyond the functionality of the product. So let me see if there are any emotional triggers. Calculate EMI. It talks about new experiences. That's an emotional trigger. The car will help you experience new experiences. Excitement is an emotional trigger. Okay, this is not the functionality of the product. No product can guarantee excitement, right? So when somebody is communicating excitement, which means it is an emotional trigger. Nothing here. Stunning wherever you go. It's a status symbol. It is saying they're talking about the beauty of the car. It says it looking stunning. Yeah. So this is something like social status, seeking attention. Okay. When you have such a good looking car, you will command attention. Yeah. And then comfortable interiors, what they are trying to say, make every trip memorable. It's comfortable interior. There is no emotional trigger. It's comfortable interior, still a functional trigger. Yeah. Be ready for a sporty performance. Zip through different experiences. Powerful engine. Again, functional. It's not emotional. Yeah. You have captured a few emotional triggers from here. So there is a messaging. The messaging is something that they frequently are talking about. What is that one message you want the user to take out of it? That is messaging. What type of images are they using? They use this couple image as a hero image, but the rest of them is mostly product images that you will typically find in any automobile landing page. Okay. Color predominantly black and white and call to action in yellow, but I think it's their brand color. In case if they've used something apart from brand color, you need to pay attention to it because I think black and white is their brand color. Emotional triggers are the words that appeals to your senses, that doesn't really talk about the function of the product, but it actually appeals to the desire. It appeals to the senses that is beyond the function of the product. And we could find a few new experiences, excitement, a social status, seeking attention. These are the few words that you could gather. Now, this is very important for you to understand. Suppose if you're launching a product that competes with Renault Kaigo tomorrow, Renault Kaigo tomorrow, you need to know what emotion that they are selling to the customer. So, when that customer is going to consider your product, you can either use a similar messaging or you can use some completely contrasting messaging, but you really need to know what your product stands out for. What is that emotion that you're trying to communicate? So if a competitor is doing that, Maybe you can take a completely opposite call or you can take a completely similar call. That completely depends upon what type of a brand you are. Whenever you're going to do, I mean, we have a pretty exciting assignment, and in that assignment, I want you to definitely do it. Like I said, there is no standard way of doing this. This is fully your own assumption of what your competition is trying to communicate. There is no standard formula. Let me give you an example for that. For example, black. Black means style for me. I do not know what black means to you. Black would be darkness for somebody, you know. White is pretty boring for me, but other people may find white to be reassuring. So it is completely subjective. So in case what you can do is, you can create this, get one of your colleagues or friends to do a very similar analysis, see if your messages are colliding with each other. That is what the emotional competitor analysis. What is that emotion that your competitor is trying to sell? Yeah. So that brings us to the end of competitor intelligence. These are the tools that were on top of the mind, generally how we go about doing competitor intelligence. But as we go in this journey across 8 weeks, there could be more number of tools. And whenever it hits our mind, either we'll record a video for you or we'll put it in the community so you can go check it out yourself. Yep. I'll see you in the next module. Bye bye.